Welcome to the Samurai Way podcast, where ancient wisdom fuels modern success. And I'm your host, Lori Sagawa, and this is your space to sharpen your mindset, strengthen your discipline, and live with purpose. Inspired by the Code of Bushido and my book, Let the Samurai Be Your Guide, each episode brings you powerful conversations and practical insights you can apply right away in your work, your relationships, and your daily life. This is about showing up with clarity, making decisions with courage, and building a life rooted in integrity. Because in a world full of noise and distraction, the Samurai Way cuts through, helping you focus on what truly matters. And if you're ready to lead with intention and take your next step forward, you're in the right space. So follow, share, and leave a review to help spread the message. Now, let's step onto that path, the Samurai Way. Konnichiwa, minasan. I'm so glad to have you with us. Today is going to be another exciting episode on the Samurai Way. And our guest today is Tim Tamashiro, and you will probably recognize him. But anyway, he's very, very popular, and he has a lot of wisdom to share with us. Tim is a best-selling author, keynote speaker, and former national CBC radio host who helps people reconnect with purpose, clarity, and joy. He's the author of the Amazon #1 bestseller, How to Ikigai, a book that has helped thousands discover meaningful direction in their lives. And after a decade of national broadcasting, Tim stepped away to explore a deeper question: what actually makes life fulfilling? His search led him to Ikigai, the Japanese concept of purpose, and to simple, practical ways of bringing more meaning into everyday life. And Tim's own Ikigai is to delight. And it shows blending storytelling, humor, and insight. He delivers keynote experiences that reset the room, re-energizes audiences, and leaves people feeling clear, inspired, and genuinely excited about what's next. So please help me welcome Tim Tamashiro. Welcome to the Samurai Way podcast, Tim.
Thank you so much, Lori. I love how we both did jazz hands at the exact same time. That was perfect, right?
Yes.
Yay. That's our goal, is to do simultaneous jazz hands on the Samurai Way.
So I gave you intro. Could you tell a little bit about people? We shared a little bit about your background, actually, it's from Okinawa, and how it has evolved in your careers and where you are today.
You know, I find it fascinating that Okinawa is so far away from Japan, but it's still part of Japan. You know, it was annexed, I think, back in the 16th century or something along those lines. But you know, it's a separate entity unto itself, and so I love that it's part of Japan because of the you know, the interesting way of being able to live honorable lives and to be able to be take care of one another and you know, have that exquisite Japaneseness about it. But hopefully that's something that's kind of come into my own life. I've had a life of delight in so many different ways, from being a jazz singer for 40 years and working in the record business, the music business. Did a lot of work on the radio for 10 and a half years on our national broadcaster, CBC. I hosted a show called Tonic that it was a jazz show on 6 nights a week, and so I got to, you know, spend 2 hours a night with people right across Canada. It was really a lovely experience and a great way to be able to learn how to do storytelling. So, but eventually that kind of wore off, and at 52 years old, I decided, you know what, I'm going to quit my job and reinvent myself. So that's where I really leaned into the whole Ikigai experience, and in a way that was more outward as opposed to inward. You know, I wanted people to know about this concept of Ikigai and the rich rewards that it brings to us, understanding what our strengths are and how we can share those with other people. This is the journey of life, right? It's the ability to be able to be thoroughly used up by the end of life, sharing our gifts. And so that's kind of a little bit of a insight into where I come from, and I'm very, very happy to be here today sharing this idea.
Well, thank you. Well, you know, your last sentence would be a great quote. put it on social media, right?
Oh, there you go. Sure. Go for it.
Okay, one of the points you want to cover that Ikigai is rooted in positive psychology, and that's
Mm.
could
Yeah. So
explain.
positive psychology, it's interesting because it's only been around since the late 1930s. Um, if we think of the idea of psychology, the origins of psychology, you think about Carl Jung and Freud and those types of psychologists and psychiatrists. The journey of that type of mental health was to be able to understand mental illness and to be able to help people with
Mhm.
mental illness find their way towards some sort of relief, right? The interesting thing about that is that that left out all the people that were already that didn't suffer from mental illness. So when positive psychology came along, this was the study of things that could increase our base level happiness for just everyday, regular people, and to be able to find trustworthy ways for us to be able to I guess, make the choices in our lives to be able to bring greater happiness every day. And Ikigai is one of those principles because it's about, for those who don't really know much about Ikigai, it's the idea of understanding what you love and what you're good at, but also how it rewards you and how the world needs what you already have. So those four ideas are usually displayed in a four circle Venn diagram, and in the confluence in the middle where all those four circles meet, that is Ikigai. It's the idea of having four directions of a map come together in a way that is beneficial not only to you, but in a way that you can share it with other people.
I love that because if Ikigai is just about me, it really isn't Ikigai. How do you, and that's the Japanese way. How do you serve others? How does your life impact other lives? Because when you think about it, a life just lived by yourself or for yourself isn't really as fulfilling as it could be. Because when you
Yeah.
give, you receive. That give and take, receive is really beautiful.
If you zoom out even further, Laura, you probably realize that every business is built on that experience as well, create something of value that is
Mm-hmm.
needed by the consumer base, right? So when this is a way to be able to kind of bring this idea of creating value out of something that you have expertise in or that you share joy in, and to be able to share it with people in ways that are meaningful to people. I always say that Ikigai is really a boomerang
Oh.
that we throw out there and it comes back to us. We throw out the idea or the energy or effort of what we love to do and what we're good at, and it comes back in ways that reward us, but also ways that people say, "Thank you, we needed that. This is something
Mm-hmm.
that is really important to keep an eye on."
Yeah, I like to think of people sometimes. I used to work in the prison, and would tell
Oh,
people,
wow.
yes, the women's prison. I would say, ladies, think of each one of you. You're a piece of the puzzle, and we all need to become that puzzle piece that will connect each other and to us to society. And I want you to have a great life. So let's work
Mhm.
on you. Let's work on what makes you unique, what makes you great. And that was very rewarding work.
A fascinating background. My brother has worked in prison up here in Canada for many years as well, and that's a place of transformation if you're able to get to that point where you
Right.
understand it's a place of transformation, right?
Right, right. It's
Hmm.
it's and anything just like Vic, and then I told him about Viktor Frankl's book. I said, please read that. That is a short book, but it's heavy to say. It's one of my favorite books, and he talked about man's search for meaning and how the people in the concentration camps, the Nazi concentration camps, were
Hmm.
able to live while as others just kind of gave up. And his his goal was to be reunited with his wife. And I won't tell the people the rest, but please read that book. It will give you a different perspective on your life and on other people's lives and make you really happy that you're alive and you're well
Hmm.
and you can listen to podcasts and you have a roof over your head and a car to drive and food in the refrigerator. You are very, very you're better off than most of the world, I would say. So
Yeah, we're very for it's a must read, definitely in any
oh,
person's self-actualization journey.
yes, yes, it is. And it gave me a different a different meaning, of different thinking, and I think about how they lived on. They slept on plywood, and maybe
Mhm.
5, 6 people across sleeping on a boot. The only warmth they had was maybe their coat. So
Yeah, or each
they
other.
or each other. Yeah, they had. That's why they had to stay close together. So that's we're
Mhm.
really thankful we live in this world now, and we have so much to be thankful for. And people like you, Tim, just bringing out joy. And so that's why I'm so happy to have you with us.
No,
And
thank you.
yes, and positive psychology is great. And the other one you want to talk about how Ikigai, this may be continuing, but Ikigai can help Ikigai rising, Ikigai
Yeah, so
warrior, and golden Ikigai.
yeah, so we all have stages of life that were. This was described by Carl Jung in the positive psychology world. You know, you think of life as four stages. The first one he described as the athlete stage, and this is the young stage of adulthood where you're 18 years old, maybe into your mid to late 20s. This is all about your physical ability to be able to go out and to explore the world in meaningful ways, to find out and to be capable of going out and exploring the world in capable ways. The stage that comes after that is the breadwinner stage. They called it the warrior stage, though. And warrior stage is where you may have identified something within your career path or within your life path that you really excel at. And you really want to go out there to prove to the world with every ounce of your being in a warrior type way that you are the best at this. And it's a time of accumulation and accolades and also of accomplishments, right? The stage that comes after that, and this, I have a hint that maybe we are in this stage, you and I. The stage is called the senator stage, and this is the stage of life where you've had both those other types of stages in your life, but now you've kind of relaxed on the idea of accomplishment and accumulation, but you're starting to want to add more purpose into life, and you might be thinking about retirement, or you might be even retired. What is it that you're going to do with your time that is going to be worthwhile to you and make it feel like your life is, self actualized, I guess, more rewarding for you. And then the stage that comes after that is called the spirit. The spirit is the stage of life where you've lived a long, hopefully a long, happy life, and you're starting to ponder what's next. What happens after you die. So, the interesting thing about those stages is that I realized that each stage kind of has its own unique Ikigai journey. And if you
Uh-huh.
start at the very early part of life, students coming out of school, high school, maybe even college, university, or people who are even out there exploring the world in their own way. That's rising ikigai. This is a way for them to be able to go out there and to be able to identify the things that they really find are worthwhile to them. This is an experimentation time. This is literally, you're not going to find a whole bunch of answers, but if you understand, well, that you can put into action anyways, but if you understand that this is an experiment that experiments have to rely on reliable data, and that is to go and try things out to see if they work, and if they don't work, this is your ability to be able to identify yourself in a way that helps you understand the first two parts of Ikigai. What do you love and what are you good at? Those two things are absolutely essential. The stage that comes after that, I mentioned, is warrior, and that's what I call warrior Ikigai. Uh, Warrior Ikigai is a very essential part of life because it is about accumulation. It is about building security and safety and those type of things. It's about also building your identity in a way that is meaningful. The interesting thing about the warrior stage of Ikigai is that it usually focuses on two other parts of the Ikigai map, I would say. It it focuses on what are you good at and what can you be rewarded for. And those rewards come in two senses. And I know that this is something that we're going to talk about maybe a little bit later, but I'll talk about it now if that's all right. We have two forms of rewards, and you might find that other descriptions of Ikigai say, do what you can be paid for. That is a type of reward, but that's something known as an extrinsic reward. Okay. So extrinsic rewards are the types of rewards that come to us through monetary means, but also come to us through accolades or accomplishments, titles, ego things, etc. And then there's other rewards that we can get from life as well that are called intrinsic rewards. And these are the types of rewards that actually boost our overall well-being. These are things
Uh-huh.
like the sense of satisfaction and rewards knowing that we're sharing something worthwhile, rewards of friendship, and the types of rewards that we get from just being ourselves and to offer our own skills of what we love to do and what we're good at to the world in generous ways. So those two different ideas of extrinsic and intrinsic are absolutely essential in the search for Ikigai. However, I would offer to guess, and this is just a theory, that it's difficult to do during Warrior Ikigai.
Uh-huh.
Why do you think it is difficult during that time?
They're two different paths, really. Don't you think?
It is,
Yeah,
yeah. It's during a time where you're trying to accomplish a whole bunch, and you're also probably in the years where you're raising children.
right.
So that accumulation stage and that identity stage is they kind of tend to butt heads a little bit sometimes during
Uh-huh.
warrior stage. Even if you're not raising children, you are still in that accumulation stage and accomplishment stage, and that leads us, many people anyway, to get to the point where they start going, why am I doing this?
Uh-huh.
It's I can be really successful and I can be really accomplished and make a buttload of money, but why am I doing this? I have to have more meaning. Interesting. So we can implement more ikigai into the warrior stage quite easily by again doing more experiments and doing things that actually are rooted in positive psychology, like being more aware of our time and spending it more generously towards ourselves, compassion, spending more time with people, acts of kindness, those types of things. But the interesting thing that happens is at the end of the Ikigai warrior journey, now we start going, hey, you know what? I've accomplished so much in my life and I'm really proud of it. I wonder what the next half of my life is going to be. And this is golden Ikigai. This
Uh-huh.
is the shift from a world of accomplishments and accumulation into a world of purpose. This
Yes.
is this is the stage where we get to say, I get to rediscover myself and to be able to understand myself deeper and to make contributions to the world based on what I'm good at, what I love to do, what rewards me, and what the world needs. So this is a real sense, a time of discovery and action in our most self-actualized way so that we
Mhm.
can live the life that we're meant to live. So I hope.
That is beautiful, because you think about it, a lot of people like the Colonel, did he really succeed until his golden years?
Hmm.
No, and people sometimes discover the best part of their lives have been, oh, this is what I've been doing, and this is how I want to do it. So,
Hmm.
Tim, I think that this would be, because I know that people are going to love you and want to listen more about you. So it'd be a good place to take a break. And then what we'll do is we'll come back and have a second part to this, because that's what we did with our previous uh, interviewer or interviewee. And it was really popular. And I know that people will love what you're going to say next, because we're going to tie all of that together, and then wanted you to talk about how you use that time in radio and how you're using it in how it's helped you throughout the years about storytelling and companionship. I think that'd be a great place, if you don't mind, is to wrap it up
Yeah,
now, and we'll go on to the next episode.
for sure. See you next week.
Bye. Thank you, domo arigato, for listening to the Samurai Way podcast. Now it's your turn. Take what you learned today and put it into practice, because knowledge has no power unless it's applied. So if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who would benefit from it. And be sure to follow, like, and leave a review. It helps us reach more people walking this path. Until then, next time, stay disciplined, stay focused, and continue living the samurai way.